Hi, Joe Bodek here, real estate investor and mentor coach. And as always, I want to thank you for stopping by. If you're looking to create monthly residual income, there's no better way to do it than by using sandwich lease options to get the job done. First and foremost, I need to make sure that you know how a sandwich lease option works. So the big question is, do you know how a car lease works? Yeah? Well, you lease the car for a period of time, and at the end of the lease, you can either return it to the dealer or purchase it. All you need to do now is substitute the car with the house, and that's how a lease option works. You lease the house for a period of time. At the end of the lease, you can exercise your option and purchase the property or move out. Pretty simple, eh? Now, in the case of a lease option, your contract should be written so that you have the right to sublease the house and to assign the contract. And this would be the major difference between a car lease and a lease option on a property. Tell you what, let me walk you through the steps of how to do a sandwich lease option real quick here. Step one is to get the property under a simple 1 or 2 page lease option agreement with the seller. Step two is to find your tenant buyer, and in this case, you'll use two long form agreements with the seller. The first will be the lease option agreement, and the second will be a rental agreement. Step three is to close the deal out down the road by either assigning the agreement that you have with the tenant buyer back to the seller, or if you don't want the seller to know what you're making out of the deal, you can do a double close. So as you can see, this is not brain surgery. So how do you make money out of this deal? Well, you actually have 3 paydays in a lease option, in a sandwich lease option. The first payday is the upfront money, which is the option consideration that you collect from the tenant buyer before he moves into the property. This is a non-refundable option consideration, and it goes right into your pocket. The second payday is the monthly rent spread, which is the difference between what you're collecting from the tenant buyer every month and what you owe the seller every month. This is the residual monthly income that once again goes right into your pocket. The third payday is the back end money, which is whatever's left in the deal when you go to close. Confused? Well, don't be, because here's a sample, a simple example of one of my many deals that I've done over the years. It should clear this up for you. This happened to be a 4 bedroom colonial home in a great area where the seller, for some reason, couldn't get the property sold through a realtor. So she came to me to get it done. And here's how the deal went. I put the house under contract for $210,000. And the comp range on the property went from 215 to 235. So I raised the price to the tenant buyer to $230,000. The monthly rental to the seller was $1,000. So I raised the rent to $1,500 to the tenant buyer. I received a $10,000 upfront fee from the tenant buyer as a non-refundable option consideration. I received $500 per month from the rent spread, and I received $10,000 at close on the back end. I controlled the property for 2 years, so here's the final numbers. I had $10,000 up front, $12,000 rent spread, $10,000 on the back end. So $32,000 was the total from a property I didn't own that cost me $100 up front to the seller as an option consideration. I would say it's not a bad ROI. Eh? So, as you can see, I accomplished the same thing that other investors do by going into debt with a bank, doing a fix up on the house, being responsible for insurance, taxes, and repairs, and then renting it out. But all I did was control the property through a sandwich lease option and had no debt, taxes, insurance, or repairs to worry about. My personal experience with the sandwich lease options is outstanding in that I had substantial income coming in every month, no matter if I was working or if I was on vacation. And depending on how many properties I had under control at any given time, my monthly income ranged from 15,000 to 20,000. And that doesn't take into consideration the upfront and back end money. So as you can see, sandwich lease options have a lot to offer. So I want you to keep in mind that I'm not suggesting that you change anything you're presently doing. I'm simply suggesting that you add this one very profitable niche to your existing business model. And by the way, if you've seen any of my previous emails on the subject of lease options, you should already know that you don't even have to market for lease option deals as you already have those leads, but you just don't know it. Now, if you're already wholesaling, many of the leads that you can't work with because the seller won't take your low ball offer, or there's not enough equity in the property, can be done as a lease option. So by simply adding lease options to your business model, you'll be able to take the dead leads that you've been throwing away and that you already have and turn them into cash deals instead of throwing them into the trash. Now, if you're only able to turn one, just one, of these dead leads per month into a lease option deal at only $10,000 as an option fee, that would bring in $120,000 per year from leads that you've been throwing in the trash. So the only problem left to solve is learning how to work with lease options, and that we can cure really pretty fast because I've been working with both wholesale and sandwich lease options for the last 30 years. And I've taught this niche to over 2,000 students over the past 15 years or so. So I know a little something about how to get you started and how to get you up to speed. And I'm going to recommend that you check out my lease option program, which will get you where you want to go without the sticker shock. And you can do that at my site using the link either to the right or the left or below this video, depending upon where you're watching this video. Now, I do understand that the fees for most of the mentoring programs out there are somewhat ridiculous, but you can get into my program without the sticker shock that you see out there in the marketplace. At the moment, I'm running an end of summer special, and my sandwich and wholesale lease option program is only $197. But guys, that's not going to last all that long. So if you're willing to open your mind and take a little time to learn a little something new, then you have the opportunity to utilize what you already have in place to double or triple your existing cash flow. I guess the simplest way to put it is that you can continue to throw tens of thousands of dollars in the trash, which you're currently doing by trashing all those leads that you can't work with. Once again, because the seller won't take your lowball offer, there's not enough equity in the property to do the deal. Or let me show you how to put all that cash in your pocket. I could be wrong. It sounds like a no-brainer to me. I mean, these are the sort of things that a mentor coach can bring into your real estate life if you're willing to do away with the paralysis of analysis and be willing to learn a little something from those that came before you. So don't stop what you're doing. Just add sandwich and wholesale lease options to the mix and become a real estate transaction engineer instead of remaining a one-trick pony. Increase your bottom line and create residual income by adding one simple niche to your existing business model. And the one thing that I always tell everybody that sees my videos, it won't hurt a bit. That I can promise you. Now, my mentorship programs are designed to teach you all kinds of great new stuff and to get the paralysis of analysis out of your life forever. Oh, and by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, please be sure to like the video on my channel and even open up your notifications so you can get notice of all the new videos that I'll be putting up here. And if you're watching it on Instagram, please follow me so you can get to see all the new videos that I'll be putting up. So I want to thank you for your time. And I'm glad that you stopped by, and I really hope to be working with you soon. So check out the program and see what you think, and hopefully we'll be working together. That's it from here, guys. Have a great one. Talk to you next time. Bye bye for now.